चित् नमर्त्य बुद्ध्या सूयेत सर्वदेव मयो गुरु। हे परम प्रियतम,
हे परम प्रियतम,
पूर्णतम पुरुषोत्तम श्री कृष्ण,
पूर्णतम पुरुषोत्तम श्री कृष्ण,
तुमसे विमुख होने के कारण,
तुमसे विमुख होने के कारण
अनादिकाल से हमने,
अनादिकाल से हमने
अनंतानंत दुख पाए,
अनंतानंत दुख पाए,
एवं पा रहे हैं,
एवं पा रहे हैं।
पाप करते करते,
पाप करते करते
अंतःकरण,
अंतःकरण
इतना मलिन हो चुका है,
इतना मलिन हो चुका है
कि रसिकों द्वारा,
कि रसिकों द्वारा
यह जानने पर भी,
यह जानने पर भी
कि तुम अपनी भुजाओं को पसारे,
कि तुम अपनी भुजाओं को पसारे,
अपनी वात्सल्यमयी दृष्टि से,
अपनी वात्सल्यमयी दृष्टि से
हमारी प्रतीक्षा कर रहे हो,
हमारी प्रतीक्षा कर रहे हो।
तुम्हारी शरण में नहीं आ पाता,
तुम्हारी शरण में नहीं आ पाता।
हे अशरण शरण,
हे अशरण शरण,
तुम्हारी कृपा के बिना,
तुम्हारी कृपा के बिना
तुम्हें कोई जान भी तो नहीं सकता,
तुम्हें कोई जान भी तो नहीं सकता।
ऐसी स्थिति में,
ऐसी स्थिति में
हे अकारण करुण,
हे अकारण करुण,
पतित पावन श्री कृष्ण,
पतित पावन श्री कृष्ण,
तुम अपनी अहेतुकी कृपा से ही,
तुम अपनी अहेतुकी कृपा से ही
हमको अपना लो,
हमको अपना लो।
हे करुणा सागर,
हे करुणा सागर,
हम भुक्ति मुक्ति आदि,
हम भुक्ति मुक्ति आदि
कुछ नहीं मांगते,
कुछ नहीं मांगते।
हमें तो केवल,
हमें तो केवल
तुम्हारे निष्काम प्रेम की ही,
तुम्हारे निष्काम प्रेम की ही
एकमात्र चाह है,
एकमात्र चाह है।
हे नाथ,
हे नाथ,
अपने विरद की ओर देख कर,
अपने विरद की ओर देखकर
इस अधम को निराश न करो,
इस अधम को निराश ना करो।
हे जीवन धन,
हे जीवन धन,
अब बहुत हो चुका,
अब बहुत हो चुका।
अब तो तुम्हारे प्रेम के बिना,
अब तो तुम्हारे प्रेम के बिना
यह जीवन,
यह जीवन
मृत्यु से भी अधिक भयानक है,
मृत्यु से भी अधिक भयानक है।
अतएव प्रेम भिक्षाम देहि,
प्रेम भिक्षा देहि,
प्रेम प्रेम भिक्षाम देहि।
प्रेम भिक्षाम देहि।
बोलिए साकेत बिहारी श्री राघवेंद्र सरकार की
जय।
वृंदावन बिहारी श्री यादवेंद्र सरकार की
जय।
श्रीमद सद्गुरु सरकार की
जय।
जय जय श्री राधे। जय जय श्री राधे। जय जय श्री राधे। जयति जगद्गुरु गुरुवर की गाओ मिले आरती रसिक वर की। गाओ गाओ मिले आरती रसिक वर की। गुरु पद नख मणि चंद्रिका प्रकाश जाके उर बसे ताके मोह तम नाश। जाके मात नाथ तब हाथ करवास ताते होए माया मोह सब ही निराश। पावे गति मति रति राधावर की गाओ मिले आरती रसिक वर की। गाओ गाओ मिले आरती रसिक वर की। अरे मन मूड छाड़ नारी नर हाथ गुरु बिनु ब्रह्म श्यामु ना देंगे साथ। कोमल कृपालु बड़े कृपा सिंधुनाथ पाके इन्हें आज तू अनाथ हो सनाथ। इन्हीं के अधीन कृपा गिरिधर की गाओ मिले आरती रसिक वर की। गाओ गाओ मिले आरती रसिक वर की। भक्ति योग रस अवतार अभिराम करे निगमागम समन्वय ललाम। श्यामा श्याम नाम रूप लीला गुण धाम बाट रहे प्रेम निष्काम बिनु दाम। हो रही सफल काया नारी नर की गाओ मिले आरती रसिक वर की। गाओ गाओ मिले आरती रसिक वर की। लली लाल लीला का सलोना सुविलास छाया दिव्य दृष्टि विच प्रेम का प्रकाश। वैसा ही विनोद वही मंजू मृदुहास करे बस बर बस उच्च अट्टहास। झूमी चले चाल वही नटवर की गाओ मिली आरती रसिक वर की। गाओ गाओ मिली आरती रसिक वर की। जयति जगद्गुरु गुरुवर की गाओ मिली आरती रसिक वर की। गाओ गाओ मिली आरती रसिक वर की। आरती प्रीतम प्यारी की के बनवारी नथवारी की। आरती प्रीतम प्यारी की के बनवारी नथवारी। दूध सिर कनक मुकुट झलके दूध श्रुति कुंडल बल हल के। दूध दिग प्रेम सुधा छल के चसीले बैन रसीले नैन गसीले सैन। दूध मैनन मनहारी की के बन आरती प्रीतम प्यारी के बनवारी नथवारी दूनी दृग चितवनी परवारी दूनी लट लट कनी छवि न्यारी दूनी घोमट कनी अति प्यारी रसन मुख पान हसन मुस्कान दशन गमकान दूनी बेसर छवि न्यारी की बनवारी नथवारी आरती प्रीतम प्यारी की बनवारी नथवारी एक उर पीतांबर पहरे एक उर नीलांबर लहरे दून उर लर मोतिन छहरे कंकनन कनक किंकिणिन झनक नूपुरन भनक धुन रुन झुन धुनि प्यारी के बनवारी नथवारी आरती प्रीतम प्यारी के बनवारी नथवारी एक सिर मोर मुकुट राजे एक सिर चूनरी छवि छाजे दून सिर तिरछे बल ब्राजे संग ब्रज बाल लाडली लाल बाह गल डाल कृपालु दून दिगचारी की बनवारी नथवारी आरती प्रीतम प्यारी की बनवारी नथवारी आरती प्रीतम प्यारी की बनवारी नथवारी यस्य साक्षात् भगवती ज्ञानदीपप्रदे गुरु मर्त्यासधि श्रुतं तस्य सर्वं कुञ्जरशौचवत् एष वै भगवान् साक्षात् प्रधान पुरुषेश्वर योगेश्वरै विविज्ञानृर्लोकोऽयं मन्यते नरं यमुना निकटतटस्थित वृंदावन कानने महारम्ये कल्पद्रुमतलभूमौ चरणं चरणो परिस्थाप्य तिष्ठन्तं घननीलं स्वतेजसा भासयन्तमिह विश्वम् पीताम्बरपरिधानं चन्दनकर्पूरलिप्त सर्वाङ्गम् आकर्णपूर्णनेत्रं कुण्डलयुगमण्डितश्रवणम् मन्दस्मितमुखकमलं सकौस्तुभोदार मणिहारं वलयाङ्गुलीयकाद्या नुज्ज्वलयन्तं स्वलङ्कारा गलविलुलितवनमालं स्वतेजसा पास्तकलिकालं गुञ्जारवालिकलितं गुञ्जापुञ्जानिते शिरसि भुञ्जानं सह गोपैः कुञ्जान्तर्वर्तिनं नमत मन्दारपुष्पवासित मन्दानिलसेवित परानन्दम् मन्दाकिनीयुतपदं नमत महानन्ददं महापुरुषं सुरभिकृतदिग्वलयं सुरभिशतैरावृतः परितः सुरभितिक्षपणमहा सुरभिमम यादवं नमत धनी गुरुवर धाम निवास सुनो मन पुण्यन पुंज सो पाइए जो बनी दीन प्रपन्न रहो गुरु के नित सेवा सोताही रिझाइए जो मन ते हरि को गुरु को सुमिरो रसना सो सदा गुण गाइए जो क्षण भंगुर जीवन जानी मना क्षण हूँ जनी व्यर्थ गवाइए जो सब धामन वारो वृंदावन पे और वृंदावन हूँ गुरु धाम पे वारो जो गुरु के पद प्रीति जुरी तो भजो चली आवे गो ब्रह्म विचारो है हरि निर्मल भक्तन को गुरु है अधमों को उदाहरण हारो और को गुरु हो या न हो गुरु मेरो कृपालु सुभाग हमारो और को गुरु हो या न हो गुरु मेरो कृपालु सुभाग हमारो। श्रीमद् सद्गुरु सरकार की जय। श्रीमद् युगल सरकार की
जय।
कीर्ति कुंवारी श्री राधा रानी की
जय।
प्यारी प्यारी अम्मा की
जय।
श्री भक्ति धाम की
जय।
श्री राधा माधव धाम की
जय।
जय जय श्री राधे जय जय श्री राधे जय जय श्री राधे।
प्रथमं सद्गुरुं वन्दे श्रीकृष्णं परमेश्वरम् प्रथमं सद्गुरुं वन्दे श्रीकृष्णं तदनन्तरम् गुरु पापात्मनां त्रातां श्रीकृष्णस्त्वमलात्मनाम् प्रपन्नाहं सदा श्यामा गुरु पादारविन्दयोः तस्य प्रेरणया तस्य दिव्यादेशं वदाम्यहम्। वन्दे बरसानानन्दाम् रंगीली महलवासिनी राधिकां परमां शुद्धां ह्लादिनीं शक्तिरूपिणी रसोयः परमानन्द एक एव द्विधा सदा श्री राधा कृष्ण रूपाभ्यां तस्मै तस्मै नमो नमः। यो ब्रह्माणं विदधाति पूर्वं यो वै वेदांश्च प्रहिणोति तस्मै तग्वंह देवमात्मबुद्धिप्रकाशं मुमुक्षुर्वै शरणमहं प्रपद्ये। Dear devotees, we'll do a few minutes of Nam Sankirtan, and after that I'll continue explaining about our Radha Ashtmi celebration. Radhe 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 Radhe
Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe
Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe
Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe
Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe
Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe
Radhe Radhe Radhe
Radhe Radhe
Radhe
Radhe
Radhe Radhe
Radhe Radhe
Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe
Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe
Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe
Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe.
Radhe 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 Radhe.
Radhe 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 Radhe. Radhe Radhe Radhe.
Radhe 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 Radhe. Radhe 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 Radhe.
Radhe 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 Radhe.
Radhe 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 Radhe. Radhe Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe Radhe
Radhe Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe Radhe
Radhe Radhe Radhe.
Radhe 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 Radhe. Radhe Radhe Radhe
Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe Radhe. Radhe Radhe Radhe.
बोलो श्री रासेश्वरी राधा रानी की।
Jai.
The last couple of speeches I've been explaining the technical details about Radha Tattva. In gist, if someone were to ask you who is Radha, the simplest answer is simply Mamaiva Paurusham Rupam Gopika Janamohanam Brahma Vaivart Puran. Radha says, my male form is the stealer of gopis' hearts. In other words, I am Krishna. Sanat Kumar Sanghita says, Radhika Krishna Rupancha Krishno Radha Swarupaka. What is Krishna made of? Radha. Radha is Krishna. And what is Radha made of? Krishna. Krishna is Radha. So the simplest answer to who is Radha is she is Krishna. Both are one and the same. And just like Shri Krishna takes avatar, Shri Radha also takes avatar. Her birth in this world is not a material birth, it's a divine event. And it happened in a very similar way that Shri Krishna's happened and Shri Ram's happened. Kirti Maya, as I mentioned, she was a divine God-realized saint, and she got Radharani's grace to have her as her daughter, but that doesn't mean that Radha's body was formed in Mother Kirti's belly. Radha did not develop from an embryo stage and get bigger and bigger and bigger over 9 months. Although, if you asked Mother Kirti that, she would say, no, my Lali was made in my womb. Why would she say that? Because Radha's divine power made Kirti Maya have the experience, not only internally, but even with the size and shape of her belly, that she was pregnant. Her belly did get bigger and bigger over 9 months, and she could feel that there's a baby inside me moving around. However, that was not baby Radha's body getting formed in there. That was just Radha's grace, giving Kirti Maya that experience of being pregnant with Radha. But she didn't go into labor after 9 months. Radha simply appeared, just like Shri Krishna appeared, just like Shri Ram appeared. Kirti Maya was reclining on a soft seat, and she was just thinking of Radha and feeling completely overwhelmed with bliss. She had her eyes closed, and all of a sudden, the image she had in her mind of Radha disappeared, and she opened her eyes and saw that Radha is standing in front of her. Full-grown Radha. Like 16-year-old, 18-year-old, 20-year-old Radha, Kumar Avastha, we say. The form that Radha Krishna eternally exist in the divine abode. In that form, Radharani appeared in front of Mother Kirti. At that time, all the important governors, powers, celestial positions, all of them came to worship Radha because they all knew that the supreme power, the mother of the entire universe, has descended in our little Brahman. So Brahma came, Vishnu came, Shiva came, Lakshmi came, Parvati came, Indra came, everybody came and paid their obeisances to Radharani. Then Kirti Maya also asked Radha, just like Devaki had asked Shri Krishna, can you become a little baby now? You've reminded me that I did devotion to you in my last life, but now I want to have you as my little lali. So Radha just took the form of a one-day-old baby in Mother Kirti's lap. This happened early in the morning. So today is Radha Ashtmi, so it would have happened early this morning. And then after Radha had done that appearance in which she simulated a material birth, it wasn't a material birth, but she simulated a material birth and then appeared in front of Mother Kirti. All the Brajwasis had been waiting for Radharani to come because all the Brajwasis are also divine saints. So word spread all over Braj that Radharani has come. Radharani has come in the house of Mother Kirti and King Vrishabhanu. So everybody, all the gopis, all the gwals from all over Braj, they all walked from no matter how far they were, and they all converged on the house of Kirti and Vrishabhanu. They all wanted to have darshan of baby Radha, because baby Radha's little one-day-old body is that same Sat Chit Anand, the same Mahabhav, the same personified essence of divine love, who has manifested herself in the form of a small baby. So they all came and wanted to have darshan. Radha's body was not made in Mother Kirti's womb, and Radha's body is not made of the elements of this earth. Radha's body is made of Sat Chit Anand. The same divine body Radha has in divine Vrindavan. She is omnipresent with that body. And with the same body, she appeared here on our earth planet, in Braj, in Barsana, in the village of Barsana, on Barsana Hill. That Radharani could be taking avatar on infinite earth planets simultaneously. It doesn't mean all those avatars are synchronized, but she could be descending in infinite places at the same time because she's omnipresent. It's not like a yogi who, using his yogic powers, can inhabit 50 bodies at once. The same one personality can inhabit 50 different bodies. They do that to go through their prarabdha faster. They can undergo their prarabdha 50 times faster by taking on 50 bodies. So God's omnipresence is not like that He's living in that body and that body and that body. His omnipresence means He is only one, and He's only got one divine body. And with that body, He's everywhere. And He can manifest that body anywhere or in millions of places at the same time. Just like when Sri Ram returned to Ayodhya and all the Ayodhya Vasis came to greet him, and they all wanted to meet their Ram after 14 years. So Ram took as many forms as there were Ayodhya Vasis, and he met everyone simultaneously. Charnamaha mile sabahi bhagavana. And all those Ayodhya Vasis thought that Ram, out of everyone, Ram came and met me first. So God's divine body can be manifested in as many places or uncountable places. That is Radha. She is Supreme Brahm, and her divine body is everywhere. She's omnipresent. So she doesn't have to come and go. She doesn't have to come from somewhere. She doesn't have to come from the divine world into Mother Kirti's womb. She's already there. She's already in your belly. She's in all of us. She pervades every particle of this universe. However, to perform leelas, sweet leelas that will entice the hearts of worldly-minded devotees who, although there are other ways to approach heart purification, but they are very difficult. Practicing Ashtanga Yoga or the difficult path of Gyan or Karmakand, all of these are extremely difficult, but loving Radha is very easy. So to make it easy for us, she appeared here on earth, and after taking the form of a little baby, she performed all kinds of leelas just like little girls do in this world. We heard one leela today. She was pouting and kind of arguing with Mother Kirti, and Kirti asked her that, "What's bothering you today?" And she said, "I want my braid to be long as yours." And Mother Kirti tried to explain to her that when you get as big as me, then your braid will be as big as me. So we got to hear this whole Leela explanation by Shree Maharajji. That's just one few minutes snapshot of one of those Leelas, and Radha was doing Leelas all day and all night, every day, for 126 years here on earth. She revealed all of that devotional material to attract our hearts so that we would find it very easy to love her. Although we know her supreme divine status, seeing those sweet, innocent leelas, we say, "Oh, Radha is so sweet and innocent, she could love me too." Although on one hand, we're very proud and arrogant, you can say we are the avatar of pride. We are arrogance personified. And yet on the other hand, we don't believe we're good enough for Radha to love us. We say, "Oh, would she really love me? No, I don't think I'm good enough." So on one hand, we're so proud and arrogant, and on the other hand, we lack that devotional confidence. But Radha says, no, look, I came here. I'm yours. Love me as your own daughter. Don't feel any hesitation. Don't hold back. I'm totally yours. I'm your baby. I'm your daughter. I'm your sister. I'm your mother. I'm your best friend. That's why Radha Rani comes here on earth, to reveal her personality, how available she is to us. Despite being the absolute supreme divine power, she is ours. And she reveals that through her leelas. So right from day one, she started rejoicing the house of Rishabhanu and Queen Kirti. And all the Brajwasis came and had darshan on that very first day. And then every day they got to watch Radha grow up. She learned to walk, she learned to talk, She started getting old enough to go out and play with her friends. When she was out playing with her friends, lo and behold, one day she met Krishna. So all these leelas happen. And although Radha stayed on the earth for 126 years, but she never looked older than 16 years, same as Shri Krishna. She lived on the hill, Barsana Hill, which is still there today, and we have our Barsana Hill here in Radha Madhav Dham. Her home was called Rangili Mahal, her palace. Barsana Hill has quite a few prominences. So the highest is where Radha Rani's palace was. And if you head out from the palace, you'll come to another area called Managar. Not Managar, Managar. It's a place Radha Rani did Man one time. So there's a mandir there now called Man Mandir. And then if you go down from Man Mandir, you go down to Radha Kund, which is, you could say that was like Radha Rani's divine swimming pool. It was the nearest pond to Radha's house, just a few minutes walk from her palace. And just up the hill on the other side from Radha Kund is Morkuti, another place, a Leela Sthali, where Krishna came one time in disguise as a peacock, because Radha was feeding laddus to the other peacocks. So Shri Krishna came, and this was already happening, so he disguised himself as a peacock, or took the form of a peacock, and came in front of Radha and then tried to attract her attention so that she would give a laddu to him. So he was dancing. But his style of dancing was classical, whereas peacocks are more random. Shri Krishna was dancing in a classical style, so the gopis found him out. They realized that no peacock would dance like that. That has to be our Nanda Kumar. If you keep going over the hill from Morkuti, you come to a low place, and if you go down in that low place, you're in Sankari Khor. Many leelas happened in Sankari Khor. It's a very tight gully. There's rock on either side, and the rock comes down like this and just meets, like, basically you just have space to put one foot, and the rock's going up and up on either side. So you have to walk with one foot in front of the other. And this was a shortcut from Barsana village to the next village, Chiksoli village. Radha and the gopis used to cut through that Sankari Khor if they wanted to go to that village, but Shri Krishna knew about this spot, and it was a perfect place for an ambush because there was nowhere to go. So if you hid behind the rocks and then jumped out in the middle, nobody could go anywhere, especially if they had curd pots on their head. They wouldn't want to run away for fear of dropping them. And all Krishna had to do was give a little poke with his stick. So he would ambush them there and take the curd tax. But one time they turned the tables on him. A gopi got caught alone in there, and Krishna appeared in Sankari Khor, and he said, "Oh Gopi, you're going to have to give me some of your curd." So she said, "What should I give you the curd on? Go bring a big leaf from that kunj over there." So Krishna went over to the kunj looking for a big leaf, and he found one, but by the time he came back, the gopi was gone. So she went and told Radha and all the other sakhis that Kanha is in Sankari Khor and he's up to no good. So they made a plan. Radha told that gopi, go back and just innocently walk through there again, and you know he's going to jump out. But all the other gopis, you hide in the kunj right around there. And when Krishna jumps out, you all run and catch him. And then when you catch him, tie him up. And once he's tied up, then call me and I'll come. So they executed the plan perfectly. They captured Krishna and they tied him up. And then when Radha came, then she made him do utthak baithak. and apologize and promise that he wasn't going to do it again. So sometimes in Sankari Khor, the tables got turned. There are so many Leela places around there. When you come down totally at the bottom of Barsana Hill, towards where our ashram is, there's another holy pond called Piri Pokhar. Pili means yellow. And Pokhar means a holy pond. So one time, actually, this was the very first time that Yashoda Maiya was meeting Radha. So the gopis had brought her to Yashoda Maiya's house, and Yashoda Maiya was so taken with Radha's beauty and her politeness and her innocence, everything about her. She just thought that my Kanha has to get married to her. So in India, I've only seen this on Tulsi Vivah over there. So I know you apply some haldi and you apply mehendi and different things to the bride and groom before the marriage happens. So Yashoda Maiya was so excited, she went ahead and applied haldi on Radha Rani's palms, as like to make it pakki baat, that now you're engaged to my son. So Radha left, but then on her way home, she was saying to the gopis that, what will I do when I get home? What is Baba going to say? What is my father going to say? So the gopis said, no problem. There's a pond on the way. We'll just wash your hands in there. So Radha went and washed her hands, and all the yellow came off, and that pond became yellow. So now it's called Piri Pokhar. It's actually just outside the gate of our Rangili Mahal ashram. Then if you go further, cross the ashram and start heading towards Nandagaon, you come to Prem Sarovar, which is there's 6 miles between Nandagaon, where Krishna lived, and Barsana. So Prem Sarovar is not exactly in the middle, it's slightly closer to Barsana. But Radha and Krishna used to meet there many times. Many, many leelas happened in that beautiful large pond called Prem Sarovar. So all of that area is just full of memories of all the leelas that happened. And these are just a few, I'm just telling you a few highlights here and there. There are unlimited leelas that Radha has revealed, along with Krishna and the gopis, and those leelas have been recounted by the saints in their writings. And that becomes the devotional material for us. In the world, we use material for our entertainment, because we like to we like to hear a story, we like to get engrossed in something entertaining. But these leelas are not just for entertainment. Although they're enthralling, they're engrossing, and you want to hear more and more, but they're actually the means of reaching Radha. Through her leelas, we can reach her. All we have to do is think of her as a little baby. Oh, like we were singing in those Shama Sham Geet verses today, I'll be your foster mother. I'll be your babysitter. Kirti Maiya is your mother, that's fine, but I'll stay in the palace and I'll take care of you day and night. Just think of that. You can become God realized doing that easily, quickly, just doing Roop Dhyan on those leelas of Radha. So these leelas are divine. Naam, Roop, Leela, Guna, Dham, Jan. These 6 things are all divine. God's names, forms, leelas, virtues, abodes, and God-realized saints. They're all one. They're all divine. So if you engross your mind in thinking of any of them, you purify your heart. So I told you that I was going to explain who is Radha to us and how do we attain her. Well, Radha is everything to us. Our body gets life from our soul. Our soul gets life from Paramatma, Shri Krishna. He is the soul of our soul. He resides within our soul, giving life to our soul. So he's even more important than our soul. And Radha lives inside Krishna. She is Krishna's soul. So she is the soul of our soul. She is the most dearest thing that could be. The most dear thing to us is our own self, our own soul. But more dear than that is Krishna because he's the soul of our soul. And more dear than that is Radha because she's the soul of our soul. She's living right in here all the time. I told you we lack the confidence and the belief that Radha would love me. I was struck by something Shree Maharajji said a few nights ago in one of his lectures, something we've heard thousands, hundreds of thousands of times from Maharajji, but somehow this time it made an impact. He was saying that Radha lives inside of you. That means she's already accepted you. If she didn't accept you, why would she be there? She's in there giving life to your soul, keeping track of your karma, giving you the results of your karma, providing devotional opportunities based on your past devotional karma. She creates this universe, provides everything we need to sustain ourselves. She's doing all of this. Why? Why would she be doing it if she hadn't already accepted us? She already accepts us. She already loves us wholeheartedly, completely. And the extra proof of her love is that we ignore her and we don't accept her, and yet she continues to accept us. Just like we say in our prayer, that, oh, you're waiting for me with open arms and motherly eyes, motherly affection. So, she is our everything. She's already doing everything for us, keeping us alive, doing everything a mother would do for her child. All we have to do is just think about that. That's the means of reaching her. Oh, my Radha is with me. She already loves me. She already accepts me. She's done all these leelas, and I could become anyone in any of those leelas. I could become a gopi, I could become a Gwalbal, I could become her mother, I could become her friend, I could do some seva to her in her palace. And all we have to do is just think of her leelas, insert ourselves into those leelas, and love her as our very own. That's such an easy path to attain Radharani. She's made it so easy for us. So Radharani took avatar on this earth. She did so in her eternal divine form. She revealed all of these leelas for 126 years and never left Barsana. Shri Krishna stayed in Braj for 11 and a half years, then he went to Mathura, then he went to Dwarika. So he was here for 125 years, and out of that, only 11 and a half was spent in Braj. But Radha spent the whole time in Braj, in Barsana. Shri Krishna reveals those other aspects of his personality, the almightiness. So when he went to Mathura, he actually restricted that lovingness in order to become more formal and reveal a different flavor of leelas, where he's not completely open and playful and loving, but he's friendly, but in a more formal way. Those are the leelas that Shri Krishna revealed in Mathura. When he went to Dwarika, he actually concealed that divine love power even further, so that his formality grew. His godly dignity was more revealed. not as revealed as in his form as Vishnu in Vaikuntha abode. There, it's all Aishwarya, no Madhurya. Aishwarya means almighty, godly dignity. And Madhurya means the sweetness, the loving playfulness. So in Vaikuntha, all Aishwarya, no Madhurya. In Braj, all Madhurya, no Aishwarya. In Mathura and Dwarika, you have a mix. So Shri Krishna was revealing those different aspects of his personality and different types of leelas for different devotees. So Shri Krishna told the Gita, Shri Krishna fought the Mahabharat war, Shri Krishna killed demons. Radharani only gave love. That's all Radha does. She never kills demons, she never gives lectures, she only gives prem. That's it. She is the pure divine love. After 126 years, Radha and Krishna together left and went back to their divine abode. Shri Krishna disappeared from the bank of Saraswati River where the Leela with the hunter and the bow and arrow happened. He vanished from there and he reappeared in Braj. And along with Radha and all the gopis and Gwalbals, they all merged into the divine abode. And Braj was empty of people because all those people were divine saints. So they all went with Radha Krishna in that moment back to the divine abode. So just as Radha appeared, she disappeared after 126 years. So I've covered who is Radha, what is Radha Tattva. I've talked to you about who is Radha to us. And I've talked to you about how we can attain Radha so easily just by loving her and remembering her leelas. Raganuga Bhakti. This is what we practice every day here in the mandir. With kirtan, we sing her name, her forms, her leelas, and we meditate on those leelas, forms, etc. Thereby purifying our heart. And when our heart is fully purified, Radha's grace through the Guru will make our senses, mind, and intellect divine, and then we'll get the divine vision of Radha and Krishna and their leelas, and we'll get to participate in them forever. But there's two questions that sometimes pinch people's minds about the leelas of Radha. And although we have to be very careful asking the question, why? It's not advisable to ask the question, why, when it comes to any leela. In technical matters, go ahead and ask questions. Clear your doubts, clear your confusions. But when it comes to leelas, you have to be very cautious. Because as soon as you say, why did this happen? What you're saying is, God made a mistake. Shouldn't it have happened this way? Why did it happen that way? So understanding that it's a dangerous road to walk down, we still have to take a little peek down that road because such questions do worm their way into our intellect. And there are two questions which are the most common that I hear people bring up. One is, why did Krishna leave Radha and go to Dwarika? There he married 16,000 queens, 16,108 queens. Why did he do that? Radha is supreme. Why would he leave Radha? Why would he leave the gopis? They are the supreme saints, the pinnacle of selfless love for Krishna. He left those samartharati gopis and he went with the queens who are samanjasarati devotees, meaning a lower class of selflessness, not complete selflessness like the gopis. So the answer is found in the philosophy I was just sharing with you. While Shri Krishna was here, he revealed different aspects of his personality and different types of bliss. See, if you look at that panel right up there, it shows the main divine abodes. Vaikunt, Saket of Ram, Dwarika of Krishna, Golok, Vrindavan. We could add Mathura in between Dwarika and Golok. So these are eternal divine abodes in the divine realm. And when Shri Krishna comes here, he reveals the specific blissfulness of each of those abodes. So when he came as Ram, he had revealed the bliss of Saket abode. And when he came as Shri Krishna, he revealed the bliss of Vrindavan, Golok, Mathura, and Dwarika. All of them. So for the first 11 and a half years, he revealed the bliss of Braj, which relates to Golok and Vrindavan. Then he had to reveal the bliss of Mathura and Dwarika. And in those abodes, there are also unlimited divine saints, and they also love Shri Krishna with Dasya Bhav, Sakhya Bhav, Vatsalya Bhav, Madhurya Bhav, but of a slightly more formal style. So Shri Krishna's Sakhya Bhav saints in Mathura are more formal with him than Krishna's friends in Braj. Sakhya Bhav means you love Krishna as your friend. Krishna's Sakhya Bhav saints in Dwarika are even more formal with him than the ones in Mathura. Same with Madhurya Bhav. There's more formality with the queens than there is with the gopis. Would the queens ever call Shri Krishna Lampat? No, right? They would never think of it. So Shri Krishna gets those sweet galis from the gopis. They tease him. There's that playful interaction with the gopis. That would never happen in Dwarika with the queens. That's a totally different style of ras. It's more formal. So the lovingness is restricted, although it's there. The lovingness is restricted. And Shri Krishna's dignity, almightiness, and godliness starts to be revealed more. That was part of the reason for his avatar, to reveal those different specific types of blissfulness. And to reveal those types of blissfulness, you need the divine associates from those abodes who interact with Krishna in those ways. The gopis weren't going to go to Dwarika and act as queens. No, they want Krishna with the peacock feather and the flute. Binu banamala chandrika nahi pahichanat sham. If my Sham Sundar doesn't have his banmala and his morpank, he's not my Sham Sundar. When Krishna left Braj, he left his peacock feather with Maya and his flute with Maya. Because those are symbols of pure divine love. Where he was going in Mathura and Dwarika, the flute and peacock feather could not go. Those paintings you see of Krishna driving Arjun's chariot on Kurukshetra, and they give him a peacock feather? No. He didn't wear his peacock feather after he left Braj. I saw one episode in an old series, the Krishna series, and Rukmini asked Krishna to play the flute for him. So she said, you know, you played the flute for gopis all the time in Braj. Why don't you play it for me? And in that episode, they showed Krishna playing the flute for Rukmini. Nope, never happened. That flute is only for those pure divine love leelas, not where there's any almightiness. So what I'm saying is, Shri Krishna went to Mathura and Dwarika in another form. It's not Sham Sundar of Braj who went to Mathura. It's not the beloved of Radha who went to Dwarika. No, it was Mathuradhish Shri Krishna. Mathura is only 6 miles from where gopis were living. And yet they never went to visit Krishna. Why? That's not my Krishna. Raja Maharaja sitting there serious, giving instructions, organizing everything. That's not my Kanha. My Kanha is the Kanha who is here playing in Braj. So one way to answer the question is that Krishna didn't go to Mathura or Dwarika, not our Krishna, not Kunja Bihari Krishna, not Ras Bihari Krishna. No, Mathuradhish Krishna went. Dwarikadhish Shri Krishna went. So Mathuradhish Shri Krishna has a different personality. Dwarikadhish Shri Krishna has different devotees who relate to him with the feeling of beloved or motherly affection or friendship or servitude. So all those devotees who are with him in the divine abode, they came and revealed those leelas there in Dwarika and Mathura. When Uddhav went to Braj and met the gopis and Radha, he was thinking that, oh, the gopis are missing Krishna so much because he left them and he's in Mathura. And when he reached there, although he couldn't see it, he soon realized that their experience was not at all that Krishna had left and gone to Mathura. Their experience was Krishna is right here. They told Uddhav, what are you talking about? Krishna is in Mathura. He can't leave us. He's right here with us. He's been here with us all along. After God realization, there's only union with Krishna. You can never be separated from him. But the intensity of love is revealed in separation. When you're separated from your beloved, that's when your love manifests. You can't keep it inside. You'll cry to meet your beloved. Your heart is burning in separation. So although there is a constant union with Sri Krishna after God realization, the divine love power is such that it allows waves of internal feelings of milan and viraha, meeting and separation. Although you're never separated from Krishna, but you feel that you're separated. That's called viraha. And then when you meet with him, your bliss of meeting with him is even more multiplied. In Ras Leela, Maharas Leela, when Sri Krishna disappeared from Radha and the gopis, first the gopis and later from Radha, and then, upon the prayer of the gopis, the Gopi Geet, Sri Krishna again appeared. And he said, okay, I'm back, now let's do Ras. And gopis said, wait, you're getting ahead of yourself. We have some questions for you. What kind of beloved are you? Krishna said, what? What do you mean? There are those in the world that even if you love them, they're not going to love you in return. No matter what, they're not going to love you in return. Then there are those who, if you love them, they'll love you back. But we can't figure out which type are you. Because we love you, but your behavior is very confusing. So Shri Krishna said, he knew the one, you love them and they love you back, this is ordinary worldly people like us. Then the other kind, no matter how much you love them, they're not going to love you in return, Paramahans. Their mind is completely absorbed in the bliss of formless God. You love them or hate them, it means nothing to them. But Krishna, what category do you come in? He said, I have my own category. Naham tu sakhyo bhajato pijantun bhajamyamisha manuvritti vrittaye yatha dhano labdha dhane vinashte tat Chintayannyanibhrito naveda Bhagavatam. He says, I do love you just as much as you love me. However, I behave in an opposite way. I love you, but I give you my separation. Why? He explained with an analogy. He said, let's say there's someone who's been a beggar for their whole life, just scratching to get by and barely getting something to put in their belly to keep themselves alive. And one day when they were begging, they made a few dollars. They decided, instead of buying food with this, I'm going to buy a lottery ticket. And they won the lottery. Imagine their state of happiness. This beggar for their whole life has been eking out an existence, and now they just won $300 million. The level of their happiness would be beyond understanding. Now imagine they just got that $300 million and someone just came and snatched it out of their hand and ran away with it. And now they're back to being a beggar. They're going to do chintan of that $300 million non-stop. They won't be able to think of anything else. Shri Krishna says, that's what I do to you. You were beggars for your whole existence, uncountable lifetimes, desiring divine love. And then you met me. You got God realized. I graced you with my divine love. And then I disappear. I give you my viraha. So now you're going to do chintan of me. So it's like putting gold in the fire. The more you put it in the fire, the more the heat of the fire purifies it. So your heart, in the heat of love for me, in that separation, reaches the state of total purity and selflessness. So Shri Krishna says, this is why sometimes I give you my separation. Not because I don't love you. So what I'm saying is, Shri Krishna wanted to reveal to the world the height of Gopi's love for him, which could only be revealed in the state of viraha. The intensity of love is expressed in separation. So that's another reason that Shri Krishna, quote unquote, left the Gopis and Radha. So with one form, the form that everyone could see, he left and went to Mathura and Dwarika, but actually his Sham Sundar, Ras Bihari, Vrindavan Bihari Lal form was always in Braj with Gopis and Radha. He could never leave. But for the sake of the visible leelas that were happening, he had left. From that point of view, he had left, so Gopis were able to express their viraha for him, which is a natural part of the divine love experience, the wave, the up and down from viraha to milan and back to viraha over and over again that multiplies the divine love. What I mean is that there are great divine secrets behind every single act of Shri Krishna. So we ask so casually, oh, why? If Gopi's love for Krishna was so great, if Radha's love for Krishna was so great, why did he leave them and go to Dwarika? We ask like that, so casually. But it's actually not a proper question. It's not the right question to be asking. But if we have the correct knowledge, we can avoid asking such questions. The final question, something somewhat similar, why didn't Radha and Krishna get married? So many people ask this question. Radha and Krishna have taken uncountable avatars. In some of their dissensions, they get married. In some of their dissensions, they don't. We have so many leelas of Radha and Krishna getting married. We have one place out here, Bhandirvan, at the west end of our property. That represents the place where Radha and Krishna got married. It was, see, there's different ways that it happens. This particular leela was a private thing just for gopis. And Brahma came, he was the Purohit who performed the ceremony. They had the fire, the marriage yagya, and everything was performed in the traditional way, and gopis got to enjoy that leela. That happened in Bhandirvan. But we also know of other leelas where Yashoda Maiya and Nanda Baba and Kirti Maiya and Vrishabhanu, they talked and they got Lali and Lala engaged. They got young Radha and Krishna engaged from an early age, and then when they were older, they got married. So these marriage leelas happen for the devotional happiness of the saints who get to observe those leelas and take part in those leelas, and for the devotees like us who get to hear about those leelas and then do Rup Dhyan on them. So could there be some avatar where Radha Krishna don't get married? Sure. But you also have to know that there were many levels of leelas happening at the same time. Krishna would leave from Maiya's house with his lakuti and his lunch wrapped up in a cloth, and he'd go with Gwalbals grazing the cows. Every day, right? You all know Krishna grazed the cows every day. So if he was doing that every day, when did he ever have time to go to Barsana and play with gopis and Radha? Yeah. We also hear that every day Krishna went and met Radha on Barsana Hill or at Prem Sarovar or in Gavarban, and they did swinging leelas or eating leelas or played hide and go seek or tag. So how is it possible that all of this happened? Because Krishna would take two different forms. In one form, he would go grazing the cows with the boys, and in another form, he would go meet Radha and the gopis. So Radha and Krishna could have any kind of marriage leela at any time. And there are so many uncountable leelas, we don't even know all of them. What we know is just a drop in the ocean. And anyway, Radha Krishna getting married is not a requirement, is it? Because when Radha Krishna get married, who are they marrying? Themselves. Radha is Krishna. If she wants to do the leela of marrying herself, or Krishna wants to do the leela of marrying himself, they can. Or if they don't, they don't. It doesn't matter. They're eternally one. So again, the question itself, prashna hi galat hai. And why didn't Radha Krishna get married? The answer is they did get married, they do get married, they've gotten married uncountable times, but all of those are leelas for the enjoyment of the saints and the devotees. It's not a requirement because Radha Krishna are eternally together and they're eternally one. So that's enough explanation for tonight. Now we have 1 hour of kirtan remaining where we can immerse our minds more in this joyous occasion of Radha Rani's appearance. Bolo Barasane Vari Ki, Kirti Kumari Ki, Vrishabhanu Nandini Ki. And remember, we'll be celebrating Chhathi this coming Monday, meaning not, what's today? Today's Wednesday. Yes, the coming Monday is Chhathi. So we'll probably start Sunday night and then also celebrate on Monday. And then the following weekend on Sunday, we'll be celebrating Barhan, the 12th day. And we'll give you more updates about other celebrations between now and the end of the year. We're finalizing our plan for some programs during what would be the Mangar Sadhana, the Sharad Purnima 1 month long Sadhana Shivir. Since those of us who normally go and attend that program won't be able to this year, we're going to be celebrating many of those same occasions here at Radha Madhav Dham. So we'll update you on that finalized plan soon. Jai Shri Radha.